Good morning, evening, or afternoon. I'm the mainly digger. This is not a metal detecting video. This is I fix stuff video. I also want to announce that I am doing a what I would call a boozy taste of Maine, and it's just to show people that there's more to Maine than just lobster or the coast. So many great experiences. I've already been to a couple distilleries or wineries and a good time. I've gone there. I've gone to two so far. I've gone and just had a like it was either after work and I was exhausted and I didn't really want to talk to anybody, or I had to I had to volunteer. I didn't have to volunteer. I volunteered, and it was a long day of pushing boxes and stuff like that, which is fun. But like then I had to drive to Union, Maine, and I was just I wasn't as excited as I'd hoped I'd be. But when I got there and I got to talking, and it was just an amazing time, just an amazing time. So quick little editor's note here. I'm exhausted in this interview. I just had a great idea. I just spent a good 3 hours looking at the switch and fixing it and stuff like that. My eyes are red. I am not intoxicated on anything. I'm just tired. I spent the whole all Saturday just outside, which is cool, doing volunteer work, and Sunday I spent metal detecting outside also in the cold, kind of windburnt. I just thought it was funny. My eyes were red. This video is about my daughter has a Switch, Nintendo Switch. It is a Nintendo Switch Lite. I don't really know anything about the Nintendo Switch. I don't have any gaming consoles or anything. I used to. I just don't have time for it anymore. I do love electronics though. I do love playing with them and fixing electronics. So one day I noticed that my daughter was playing her Switch with it didn't have a joystick. It has two joysticks. One of the joysticks was completely broken off, and the other one was halfway broken off. So I did some research. I looked on YouTube, and also another part of this video is I'm going to be looking at an IFIXIT kit that is for electronics. IFIXIT is a great company that makes packaged electronics tools pretty much, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's outstanding. It's an outstanding, great. It's a great kit, and I'm lucky. I'm going to school for electronics, going to college, and the college that I'm going to, KVCC, gave me this amazing package, a packet of anything you need to work on electronics. Awesome. I'll review it. I've used it a couple of times. I have other kits that I have and have used that I still use, but this is awesome. This kit's awesome. Mainly to go. So this is my iFixit kit. You'll see it in the video. I use it to take apart the switch. I use it to take apart the switch. I use it to take apart the switch. iFixit, amazing company. They have, if it's an electronic, they have a video where you can fix it or take it apart, or it's just the awesome company anyway. So if you open it up, or I open it up, the any type of screw you need, they have it. They have multiple different things. These picks are amazing, very helpful, and they don't destroy whatever you're working on, which is awesome. I haven't used these tweezers. These are serious tweezers. Haven't used them yet. Used these tweezers just recently for okay. So the biggest issue I had with pretty much any electronics that I work on is the adhesive that they use. So it's for the battery pack. So I had to remove the battery pack. I used these three tools because I didn't want to cut into the battery pack, but I still had to get it out of the. So I had to get underneath the battery pack, and this I use these. That's the whole point. I use these. Amazing, good times, awesome. I use these. They're just straight tweezers. I use both tweezers. Curved tweezers worked for getting or pulling different wires out of the way. They just work. It was a good system. They have a good thing here. There's the anti-static wristband and wire right there, connector right there. That's awesome. I haven't used this at all, but this is for like screens and stuff, and it's just a suction cup and you pull the screen off. I think I've never used it. I don't know what the technical term for these are, but they're pry bars. Like they're used to pry. They're plastic and they do not destroy what you're working on, which is awesome. This is the kit I bought for soldering. I haven't had to use it. I want to learn how to solder. Haven't gotten there yet. I have used the different pieces, some of the different pieces a lot. The screwdrivers, I use the tweezers. I had to use it for a 3D printing kit, which was awesome. So I use the cutters a lot. I would still suggest it. I'm not like, this is an amazing kit. This is still good. This little kit here, I've used. I have history with this kit, and I'm not ever gonna let it go. $15. I think I either bought it online or at the store, but it was $15 cheap. Everything you need. Everything you need is right there. This came with the joysticks. So the pick is really good, and I do like these screwdrivers, but it came with extra screws. So that's, I mean, it has everything you need to change the joysticks out on the Switch. So this is a Nintendo Switch Lite. I keep wanting to call it a Twitch, and it just reminds me of like an old man thing or a dad thing. There's no joysticks, so that is, my kid was literally figured out how to play with just the remote or the buttons, and it's kind of cute. It was funny, and I was like, I can fix that for you. There are 2 screws at the bottom. I think this is the bottom, near the charging port or the place where you put the charger. You plug it in. These 2 screws are Phillips, small Phillips. And on the reverse side, so it's the side that's, I'd call it the upside, I guess. Also 2 screws, also Phillips. So a picture I didn't take is the back side of the Switch, which has 4 of the tri-fold screws. The screwdriver literally looks like a spike. There we go. It looks like a spike, a little spike. But anyway, 4 screws back of the Switch. So I would say one of the hardest part of replacing the joysticks is getting the back off without destroying the actual Switch. It didn't help that my oldest was looking over. Both my kids were looking over my shoulders. My eldest had seen the video multiple times, the iFixIT video. So she kind of was like, she had it down, by memory. So it was funny. So at this point, I took off the back, and then I took off I forgot what it's called, but the metal piece below. I wanted to start counting screws, and normally I would start counting screws. I just stopped. There's so many. There's so many screws, a couple of different cups. So each screw had its own, or the backing had its own screw, had its own spot. And a lot of screws here. So, like I said, this is probably the hardest part that I had, besides getting the back off, was getting the battery out of where it's supposed to go. There's adhesive on there, and I'm so pleased with the iFixIT package, because they had multiple different tools that helped with that. But it was probably one of the hardest things, because I didn't want to break the battery pack, and I was stressing out about it. So this is, I'm going to say it is, if you're looking straight down with the screen towards the desk. This is the right side, and it's probably the easiest. It is the easiest joystick to get. It with this whole thing, what you got to remember is that there's plugs everywhere, and you need to remember all the plugs that you unplugged, pretty much. And it's the simplest thing I can way to put it, because there's so many. So this was the easiest part to take apart, because you only have to remove like the piece that I'm holding. Easy, really, really easy. And honestly, I didn't really have to take apart the battery or take the battery out. So I kind of wasted my time there, but I'm glad I did it. So yeah, when I say little plugs, I mean there are some little plugs, and the tweezers are amazing to help out with unplugging and plugging back in. There are some of the spots that you plug in. I know, not the technical term, but there's a bar that lifts up, a tiny bar that lifts up, and it pulls out, the plug pulls out. To put that plug back in there, you need some amazing hand-eye coordination. So you slide the plug back in to where it plugs in, and then with the tweezers, or another pair of tweezers, you push the bar, the little plastic bar down. I don't think I took a picture of that. That is just because that's one of the things I struggled with is understanding that you had to push the plug back in. So the purpose here is to take out the motherboard. There's so much stuff in the way, and so many different things that you have to unplug. If you look up to the right, next to this picture's kind of blurry, and this is what I'm getting at, is that there's a gold like bar looking thing. Next to it is a white plug-in, or a plug where you plug the plug-in into it. You can kind of see there's the white, the off-white, or I don't know, and then there's like the pearl white strip down the middle. That's the bar that I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of screws. There's a lot of stuff that has to be removed. It's easy to remove it. It's remembering to put it back in or plug it back in that is the hard part. Here, I really don't know what I was trying to get at. It's probably that there's so many plugs to unplug, and it's kind of a pain but still very fun to do. So the motherboard's taken out, and I got it down to to where I could replace the joystick. A lot of screws to screw back in, and it was fun, but I'd do it again. I would do it again just to get more practice, because it was fun. So at first I didn't understand why I took this picture, but if you look up at the top left, there is a gooey residue that I think is adhesive, or it's cool. I don't know what it is. I don't know why a natural spot, or a spot in where you naturally put your fingers, and it just every time, and it was just one of those things. Anyway, the white gooey stuff is no joke. So yeah, this is not about Christmas things or containers. I use this container because I was having a hard time, because the joysticks were, they'd make a space. I was either pushing on the joystick that I just put in there, or I was trying to take out. So I would suggest putting something in the middle or even a soft, like something in the middle, and then like a piece of cardboard for the screen, so the screen doesn't get scratched. So Merry Christmas. This was a fun project to do. It really was. And I haven't talked to my kid yet, my eldest, and see if it works. It probably doesn't work, so we'll see how it goes.